Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again and I'm Alstha Bros with another video. I've already started making progress. By continuing this, I want to continue my content, and you already guessed it right that today's topic will be why thinking small is actually the thing that can change the world. We always think of big ambitious goal, and we all have this thing like dream big and you will achieve big. But I think this thinking big is type of myth, because when people start thinking big, there's a problem. There's a major problem. So we will be talking about that problem in the sooner in this video, in this upcoming part of the video. So let's start, ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, good afternoon everyone, and all of you comment down how are you and how is my content going on. Is it best or it is average or it is poor? So let me know in the comments. So today I want to challenge an idea we often hear. Think big. Yeah, we often listen this small phrases like think big. Thinking big is kind of thing like we all have witnessed. We have all we have all that type of big ambitious goals, like making a $1 billion company, or uh, like mm, something that is very hard to achieve, but it's not impossible, but that's considered to be very big. We often think and we often listen this phrase like thinking big, especially in type of motivational video. So while thinking big is exciting and ambitious, I believe that thinking small, focusing on the tiny changes daily and personal habit can truly change the world. Yes, I'm not talking about to just live thinking of that big ambitious goal. Think of it, but we have to break it down. Take that big stone, no, take that big food and just make the piece of it. Make a tiny piece so that you can sort its difficulty level. You can minimize its difficulty level, and you can achieve that big goal in the small possible way, step by step. First, you first you will just focus on the small piece of the cake. Let's think that big. Let's think that big idea, that big ambitious goal is your cake. So you can't eat both all the cake at once, but we can eat it. But for that we have to cut it into the pieces and eat one by one. So with this approach, like that is like thinking small, breaking the steps down, it makes sense and it is very relatively easier to achieve the goal, one goal at a time. So focusing on tiny daily habits, tiny daily changes and personal habits can truly change the world. We have this feeling, we have this goal like changing the world, from here to there, flip the world. We have that type of goal. Not most of us, but we have. Oh, yes, it sounds simple, maybe even boring sometimes. Okay, but sometimes small is more powerful than we imagine. We often underestimate the power of small changes, small progress, small work we put in every single day. We think it is simple and it is boring to achieve that small goal. That's not what we wanted. That type of thinking comes in our mind, but it's not the case every time. It is the thing that will lead us to achieve that big goal, that big goal. The small changes and the work we put in to finish to work on that small thing will lead us with a big result, and with the time we can achieve that big goal you are envisioning. So sometimes small is more powerful, ladies and gentlemen, powerful than we imagine. So another thing is the myth of big changes. Yeah, I said a myth. So we live in the world, we all live in the world that loves dreaming big, ambitious goals. We all have that type of thing, that type of mindset we have. If we not think big, we will left out. We all have that FOMO, fear of missing out. But we never ever realize that when we always think of that big ideas, the big project in our life, we feel type of exhausted, type of we feel like we are not made for that, as it is very, very ambitious, and your level now, the level you compare, the level you are in the present moment and you are envisioning to be in that level, it doesn't matches. The routine, the habits doesn't matches. So we all try to just change every each and everything at once, and that makes us overwhelmed, and it is very, very hard to achieve. Only 0.001% people have luckily, I'll say luckily, have achieved it. Maybe they have some privileges and anything. So like money, like economic privilege, like networking, that things matters. So we live in the world where people love thinking big. They're building a multi-million dollar company going viral overnight. Yes, we all have that goal, that type of thing. Like once we go viral, we our life will change. But to be in that position of being viral, but I think that viral thing also is not that good thing. The viral is like you are viral for 24 hours and you will be forgotten by each and every person from your mind. What is the thing that the people forgets you? It's not the thing that we want. We want the permanent thing. We don't have to be viral. We have to be famous. And being and to be in the position so that people will remember us and we are considered as a famous personality. We have to work on it each and every day, not focusing on the big idea at once, but with breaking down the big into small and focusing on that small changes each and every day. And it is very, very boring and very, very slow. It will be slow, but whoever becomes consistent in this wins the long race. We are not the horses of the short race. We don't have to just run 100 meters. We have this lifelong running. So we have to just save our energy. Like it's a marathon. Life is like a marathon, not a 100-meter race. Life is a marathon. We have to manage each and every step. We have to think of each and every step and just focus on the next step you put in. So I will conclude that the thinking big is type of myth in now in this generation. We have this dream of making multi-billion dollar companies, like going viral overnight, like becoming a social media influencers or becoming famous personality. We are taught to dream big and act big and plan big, but there is a loophole in this thinking. When we say to dream big, I already told you that dreaming big is the thing have to be you must have in your mind, but it should not be that much. It must not give you that much pressure that you will feel like I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed. Don't think in that way. Think that you have a big goal to be achieved in this in your life, but just like piecing, just like cutting cake into pieces, break it that big idea into pieces, and you just follow the steps. You just follow that route one by one. So, for example, I will give you an example. Like you have this big idea, this big project, like big thinking, like you are going to be the CEO, the founder of multi-billion dollar company. Who doesn't have that a big idea? But the only person that focus on a tiny tiny things that is surely winning the long race. Like when you are thinking of becoming the founder of the multi-billion dollar company, first of all, you have to think and you have to believe in yourself. That's the first step. And you put into actions, not each and everything. Just do things like you start becoming disciplined in one thing and the other thing, then the other thing. So, like for becoming a founder, we must have multiple type of skills, like just like communicating skills, communication skills, like presenting skills, presentation skills, and like of that, we must have that of the company, that type of things. Like they must have the knowledge. They must have knowledge of the things that they matters. So they don't just follow each and every thing at once. They break it down and they chase each and everything step by step. So we all have that thing, like thinking big, planning big, and acting big. But there's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. Big dreams often overwhelm. Big, big dreams are often overwhelming. People don't know where to start. So, with the fear of being perfect at their beginning level, they freeze or they wait for the perfect moment. And we all know that the perfect moment is the thing that never existed in our life. Nothing is perfect. We might think that this is perfect, that is perfect, that was perfect, but nothing is perfect. You are seeing with your perspective, but on the perspective of other people, it may not be that perfect. So just track your progress, track your progress, and progress your progress your life each step ahead. Not all at once. No one is perfect in this field. So, meanwhile, the world keeps turning, nothing changes. We have this habits of dreaming the big project. Like, for example, we have this feeling like we will be the founder of multi-billion dollar company. We have that idea in our mind, but we because it is so overwhelming and it's very ambiguous goal. So you will be freeze. You will be freeze. How to start? Where to start? What to start? So with that, you start doubting yourself. You start questioning yourself. Am I the right person to be the founder? You are, but you are not thinking in the right way. Just think, just question the right question. Just question yourself in the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have this feeling, we all have this type of habit of not questioning ourselves in the right way. Like to be the founder of multi-billion dollar company, we have to think like how can we be that personality? Yeah, it's ambiguous and it is very difficult to be in that position, but just frame your mind and start small. Just think like, just think like, what can I do today so that I will become that person I am envisioning? So that's the right question, ladies and gentlemen. So have the habit of questioning yourself the right way possible. There's always the possibility achieving the biggest goal you are envisioning. But the problem is you don't ask question the right way. So another thing is real changes begin small. Let me give you some example. Mahatma Gandhi didn't begin with a revolution. Yeah, we all think that Mahatma Gandhi had just fight with the British and the Britishers has left India. But we must have the knowledge that Mahatma Gandhi has worked day and night and has sacrifices all the nights with the sleepless nights to be the person who can fight with the Britishers and Britishers were forced to leave India. Like Mahatma Gandhi didn't begin with revolution. He began with personal choice to live simply and stand up peacefully. It was a long journey. It was not like he just go in this revolution and Britishers were frightened and they left India. But that's not the real reason. The real reason was he started small. He started with himself. He make himself that capable so that he can make that revolution. He make himself that type of person who was ready to make that revolution. So he started with himself. He started living simple. He don't. He started uh, being this independent person. The indie people, India people. He tries to live a simple life. That's small change for that big impact we were trying to achieve. So Mahatma Gandhi, and another example is Great Thunberg. Didn't start. He didn't start by addressing the UN. He she began with one person school strike outside the Swedish parliament. Greta Thunberg was the she was the person who has made a greatest impact in the world. He didn't start addressing the UN. She began with one person strike. Have you ever seen one person strike? But she was not frightened to be small. She was not frightened to be too small, to be small. But she kept on going and she was able to do the work she was dreaming over and over again, and she was doing the things that is needed to be done. She started small and eventually the impact becomes the big one. So thanks to the Greta Thunberg, even Google started with a small garage. Like Google, who doesn't know it now? It is the thing that started small, like in garage. Who can think that this multi-billion, now this is like trillion-dollar company now, is the company that was started by only 2%. It was started with a garage. What is this? Starting with garage and becoming this trillion-dollar company, multinational company. What is this? So we all underestimate the small thing we do in our life, but that is the thing that makes the biggest change in our life. Don't underestimate the power of small changes you put in each and every day. The Google was the Google that team, the 2%. That's small. That was small. But they didn't quit early. They started small. They started small things. They started thinking small, and with the time, with the progress they made in by doing that small thing, they made progress each and every day. And eventually, we are living in the age of Google. So be in this position, they started small. They don't think of becoming a multi-trillion dollar company. At the time they started, they just have the feeling like we will be the company who will be the top in the shorts industry. But eventually, it has grabbed almost each and every aspect, each and every scope in our life. It has become the life of the common people. We are surrounded with that ecosystem, Google ecosystem. So they all started small. Mahatma Gandhi, Greta Thunberg, and Google all started small. So another thing is, the thing I want to conclude is that every big changes you see around you started with the tiny changes. Something ordinary, that's the magic of thinking small. So another thing is science supports it. Science book this up to. There is a powerful psychological idea called the compound effect. We all have this thing, like we all have heard this small but powerful phrase, the compound effect. It says that small, consistent actions with this repetition over and over again lead to the massive result. It's like it first of all it will be like this straight line, no any progress, but with the continuous actions, with the continuous perseverance, with dedication, courage, consistency, it will start climbing, climbing the hill. And you didn't quit, so it will go this high, and you will see the result. It was not easy, it was difficult, but that difficult thing was started with a small thing. Start small. I'm nothing to say. Science also proves it that there is a psychological idea, compound effect. So if you improve by just 1% a day, you will be 37 times better in a year. 37 times? What is this? 37 times better. Just by focusing on 1%, improving 1% progress, 1% progress in your day, you will be 37 times better. Not 37, 37 times isn't the incredible. 37 times is very incredible thing in our life. 37 times. I'm not talking about 37%. I'm talking about 37 times better. So thinking small in a daily life. Let's bring this idea into real life. Want to get healthy? Don't start with the extreme gym plan. Don't start with the strict diet. Like you will just start eating the healthy things like salad, like the thing you didn't eat in your life before. That will not make the progress. If you want to really be healthy, you just start small. You change one dish. Like I have the habit of eating that roadside samosa. I think to be healthy, that one thing should be eliminated from my life. So I will not think about any other thing, just that one thing. I will not that thing ever in my life. So that is a small changes, that is a small thinking, and that will lead. I am pretty sure that this will lead to the biggest change in my life. It will not be seen in the near future, but it will make the change. It will make a very, very incredible thing in my life. So, want to learn a language, don't aim to speak fluently. If you are just learning a language for the sake to speak English, to speak any language you are learning within a week or within a month, would like that the native speaker, it will not make sense. This learning language is a skill, ladies and gentlemen. It is a skill. It demands time, it demands the patience, it demands the dedication, the courage. With the patience, with the improvement over and over again, you will start seeing the progress. And that progress leads us to the motivation. And that motivation leads us to the thing we are dreaming of. We will surely be in the position in which we are talking like the native speaker of that language. For this, start small. So I think you get the point. Starting small for the language purpose. For this, I have one tip that thinking in the language you are trying to learn. Think in that language. Start thinking. That's the small changes to make, and become it will lead to the greatest impact in our life. So, want to save money? Start saving by 10 rupees a day. I'm not much, I have not much content to talk about in this thing. Just save it. Want to save money? Start small. Over time, these small habits become your identity. You will no longer try to be healthy. You are healthy. You don't try to learn the language. You will be that fluent that you will never struggle in that language. So thinking small to change the world. This we all have this thinking, like we all have heard these phrases from our society, from our teachers, from our day-to-day life. We are listening this like thinking big leads us to the greatest change. But I've already told you guys that yes, we have to think big, but it's like a piece of cake. It is no, it's like a whole cake. You have to make a piece of it and eat it one by one. So likewise, break those big ideas into the small pieces and just focus on one thing, and after improving in one thing, you jump to another. That's the real thing to be done. So thinking small to change the world. Really, by thinking small, we will be really that capable that we are able to change the world. Yes. So now imagine this. What if everyone picked just one small good habit, stuck to it? What if every person used one? Ajay, Ajay, what if every person used one less plastic bag? Yes, in our surrounding we see this pollution. Why is this pollution so increasing? The one of the biggest reason for this pollution is the massive use of plastic. We all know that. We are all aware that the plastic is the thing that is making our world worst to live. But what if we, not we, I start to use that plastic? I stop using that plastic. For now, I will be stopping. From tomorrow, you will stop. Day after tomorrow, another will stop. And likewise, the cycle goes on, and we will be living in this world where there will be no any plastic. So that was started small, but that led to the biggest impact in our life. So, or what if every person helped their neighbors? We all know the impact. We all know the thing that will be great by helping our neighbors. Or planted one tree. Yes, this is also the thing I have already talked about. That we, what if we started planting tree? We all know the biggest impact in our life by just planting a tree. So I think I should not talk in that content for now. So changes will not just be possible, could be inevitable. Inevitable. So ladies and gentlemen, please comment down the true meaning and example of inevitable. Inevitable. Thinking small doesn't mean thinking less. It means being smart. It means trusting the drops of water really can fill a bucket and even overflow it. It's like we all have seen that video in which a drop of water, what is the force that will be produced by just a drop of water falling from the height like 2 meters? It no doesn't have any force, no. But over and over again, time passes, and within hundreds and 200 years, it's just a matter of time. With hundreds and 200 years, that drop of water will make a hole in a stone. We all have seen this video, yes. So it's only the matter of time and the small consistent habit to put the work in the thing, the real thing that will make changes. So, so to those who feel stuck, scared, and unimportant, this is your reminder. You don't need to do something big to make a difference. Yeah, we all have this thing like we have to start the thing in the perfect way. Perfect way. But I think that they are starting the thing and they want to be perfect. How? How the hell they know that this is the perfect and that is not perfect? I'm always thinking like that. If the person is starting, how the hell he knows that this is perfect, this is not? This doesn't make sense. So you don't need to do something big to make a difference. Start small, but it doesn't help only by starting small. You have to be the consistently doing that work, putting your heart and soul to that small changes, and you will be amazed at what you can build. Because the person who change the world aren't always the ones who shout the loudest. Sometimes they are the ones who keep their mouths shut every single day. So I want to repeat this again, because the people who changes the world aren't always the ones who shout the loudest. Sometimes they are the ones who take quiet steps every single day. So, with this, ladies and gentlemen, I am Alstha and I want to thank all of you. So, the thing I want to say is Alstha signing off.